Hey everyone, welcome. Today I have a few postures for you that are wonderful to do during menopause or the years or months leading up to menopause, which we also call perimenopause. Of course, every woman's journey is different during this time and it should be celebrated. And these poses today, we're concentrating on broadening the pelvis, softening the abdomen so that the lower back can be a little more eased and comfortable, and maybe the nervous system can cool down a little bit. And as well, these poses can help with hot flashes. So let's go ahead and get started. You'll need a block, a wall to lean onto, and then a chair. Any chair will do. So from standing in Tadasana, we're going to put the hands on the hips and step the feet wide. As you can see, I'm pretty close to the wall because I'm going to do half moon pose and I'm going to use the wall for support. I'm going to take that block onto the right side, and as always, I am mirroring you guys. So turning the left foot in, turning the right foot out, and spreading the arms. And on an exhalation, we come down with straight legs and place the hands onto the block. And then the left hand can go onto the hip, and then walk in, slide your right arm out, lean into it, and take your left leg up and away. So the wall is here to make sure you don't fall back over, and I'll help you also to relax a little bit into the pose. You still want to press through your inner heel. You want to lift the thigh up, and the back of the left heel presses into the wall. As you stay here, your hand can stay on the hip, or you can reach it up towards the ceiling. Draw your right hip buttock into the body and open the chest up towards the ceiling. You can rest your head onto the wall. You can look up and breathe, keeping both legs straight. And then after a couple breaths, we're going to bend the standing leg, slide the back leg down. I just like to bring my block up with me as I come up. And we'll reset. So widen the distance between your feet. Turn the right toes in, left foot out. And we'll take the arms straight out and come down to triangle or Utthita Trikonasana. Right hand onto the hip. Walk in and walk the left hand out and away. On the way into the pose, you can lean onto the wall so that you feel safe and protected. And then eventually as you straighten the leg, see if you can draw your left hip away from the wall into the body. Open the abdomen, the pelvis upwards, and reach through your lifted inner heel. Lean your head into the wall. Turn your chest up. You can look up. You can reach up with the top arm and lengthen the spine through the crown of your head. And then when you're ready, you can look forward, hand on the hip, and then come all the way out and back to Tadasana. Next, we're going to do Prasarita Padottanasana, and I have my chair here because using the chair will actually help us to stay a little bit longer in the pose and enjoy the benefits of the pose. So facing the chair, we're going to step the feet quite wide, 4.5, 5 feet apart, and you want to point your toes directly forward. Keep pulling the thighs up, and with your hands on your hips, lift your chest. While you exhale, come forward, place your hands onto the seat of the chair. You could stay here, or if you know you have that room and space in the back of your thighs, then you can drop onto your forearms. Take the hips back, push the thighs back, lift the kneecaps, and pull the sides of your torso forward so that you're elongating the sides, you're elongating the waist. And then lifting through the abdomen, keep pushing the thighs back, and then, if possible, you can drop your forehead onto the seat of the chair. You can stay here as long as you like. It feels really quite nice on the back. And then those of you that can, you can put your fingers or your hands onto the floor. You can stay with your head supported, or you can push the chair out of the way and stay here lengthening your spine. And if you want to take the pose further and you have that flexibility in your hamstrings, you can walk your hands back. Bend your elbows back behind you. Now you want to round the back and relax the top of the head onto the floor. So you really want to make sure that your head is resting. If it's quite close to the floor, you can always use a blanket or a block. Otherwise, you can always stay using the chair. After a few moments or minutes, depending how long you can stay in the pose, straighten your arms. Keep the legs firm. Take your hands into your hips. Inhale and come all the way up. And then bring your feet all the way back together. Back to Tadasana. So next we're having a seat and we're starting in Dandasana, but then we're going to take our legs wide apart into Uppavista Konasana. And this is in a way related to the pose that we were just doing standing up. As you can see, the feet are wide apart, the legs are straight. You want to be able to lift your back up and draw your sacrum in. And if the groins are really tight, that's not possible. So it might be a good idea to use a blanket, maybe 2, maybe even 3, under the buttocks here so that you can stay in the pose. This is a great pose for women in all stages of our lives. So as we stay here, relax your inner thighs towards your knees, pull the chest up and place your hands right by your hips and roll the shoulders back. From there, we can do a simple twist to the right. So you can bring your left hand in front of you, take your right hand behind. Draw your spine up through the crown of the head. Inhale, and as you exhale, turn the torso so that your spine is going towards the same direction as your right leg. Keep the chest broad, face soft. And then coming back to center, take an inhalation, reset. And while you exhale, then right hand is in front, left hand behind. As you press into your fingertips, you can use that to pull your spine up, keeping your legs long, extended, and turning from the lower back to the middle back, towards the shoulders, even the head and the neck can turn. And then come back to center. And if possible, we can lean forward a little bit with the hands in front. As though you're trying to push the floor away, use that to draw your lower back down and round your back a little bit. And then bring yourself all the way back up. From there, we're going to go straight into Badha Konasana, or bound angle pose. So we're going to take the right hand behind the right knee and let the foot come towards the midline. And then do the same on the opposite side. Bring the bottoms of the feet together. And then release from the groins towards the knees. You could always, if this is quite difficult, you can always put a couple of blocks under your knees so that you can soften your inner thighs towards your knees and keep the legs staying flexible. With the hands behind you, lift your chest. And then after a while, you can take your hands to your ankles and bring the heels a little bit closer to you. And if that's coming along well, you can even take your hands behind you, lift the hips, and slide forward so that you're bringing your thighs closer and closer to your shins. And you're upright in Badha Konasana. Stay as long as you can, maintaining the lift of your spine. Roll the shoulders back and breathe. And then bring your hands to your knees, Bring the knees up and we go back to Dandasana. So to wrap it up, we're just going to take a gentle supine position, lying down on the back. So if possible, you're going to keep your legs crossed as you lie down onto your back and support your head with a blanket and relax your arms. See if you can stay in this pose. If this is, again, if it grips and it's too difficult, you can just keep your legs bent and drop the knees against each other. Keep your feet a little bit wider than hip width. You can rest your hands on your abdomen if that feels better. Take a few breaths, reset, and relax the back. And then when you're ready, roll to your side and come all the way up. And I hope that these poses were helpful for you. Know that there is so much more that can be done and practiced during this time. Inversions are wonderful, so reach out to me in the comments and let me know if you'd like to see more of this content, and I'd be happy to share more with you. Thank you. Namaste.